Donald, wake up. It's time.
The U.S. elections have ended decisively, extremely quickly, with the United States electing its first openly pro-Bitcoin candidate and cabinet alongside RFK Jr., Vivek, and more. But is the pump for Bitcoin just beginning? Or has it not even started? So if you understand, this is quite literally bullish scenario number one, quite literally, if you understand how big this is for crypto, over the next few months and especially the next 4 years, hit that like, hit that subscribe, get signed up to Femex below if you need to buy Bitcoin, or if there's altcoins you want to buy, definitely do it now before the biggest bull run of all time. I don't know how to say this other than to say we're heading into we're heading into the most pro-Bitcoin bullish scenario for this market, quite literally imaginable. And I don't want to get too excited, but it's honestly pretty hard at this point. As I'm sure many of you know, Bitcoin, first pro-Bitcoin candidate, Donald Trump, a lot of people are looking to see lower taxes, massive surge in crypto. In fact, as the poly market odds of Trump winning were increasing throughout the election yesterday, the price of Bitcoin pumped alongside with it, basically saying the market was telling us, which the market was right, by the way. The poly market betting market was the most accurate polling, by the way. So many pollsters got things completely wrong, whereas they had Trump down by like 15 points in certain areas. He ended up, it was just insane. The polls are just so inaccurate. It's absolutely insane how inaccurate the polling was. But the only thing that wasn't inaccurate was the poly market betting odds. Meaning where people put their money is actually where the truth was in terms of who was winning and where the votes were going. So it's pretty interesting. Mainstream media, again, is just so full of lies, and I'm not going to get into it too much, but where people are betting their money turned out to be the most accurate measure of who people were voting for. And guys, it wasn't even close, okay? It wasn't even close. So we see Donald Trump wins the U.S. election by a landslide. I don't believe Kamala Harris won a single swing state. After Georgia and North Carolina, after Pennsylvania, it was done, right? She needed Pennsylvania to win, and she did not get it. This is huge for crypto, and I want to talk about why, and I want to talk about what's been happening too. So we see that we have a Bitcoin president who is, there's people that are probably watching this thinking, oh, Donald Trump's just going to, he's going to go completely off and back on it. Well, you have to understand the people he surrounded himself with: Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy, J.D. Vance, RFK Jr. Do you understand how pro-Bitcoin these people are and how influential they were in his election, in Trump's election? I think a lot of people are very pessimistic about this. Well, not really. I think more than half the country is actually optimistic, but there is that portion of the country which are living in a little bit of an echo chamber that I think are a little bit disillusioned and confused how something like this could happen. But if you isolate an entire half of the country and call them all these names when, most these people are not these names. I'm not racist. I'm not all these horrible things the mainstream media have been calling people for well over a year now, but specifically it's really heated up the last year. I think people start to realize, hey, maybe we shouldn't just, isolate half the country, or actually more than half the country. And it ended up being a result that also benefited crypto holders, and I think is going to usher in an absolutely insane 4 years. I think that we have literally the biggest moon fuel we could even ask for. For example, today Blackrock's Bitcoin ETF saw a record volume of $1 billion in just the first 20 minutes. Things are really starting to heat up already. 1 billion in the first minutes. That's what it does usually in a full day. But we saw it in the first 20 minutes. Other Bitcoin ETFs are in the same boat. Crazy volumes set for a record-breaking volume day. And given that the price is up so much, it's like a feeding frenzy, volume versus crisis volume, or frenzy volume versus crisis volume. Look for inflows this week. Again, best marketing that these ETFs could have is them pumping like this. Honestly, this thing is about to get let loose. It's about to snowball into something massive. It's so easy to see. Potentially the biggest news: democratically placed Gary Gensler at the SEC is going to be removed. We are not going to have this person trying to quite literally destroy crypto in America. Okay, you can have your opinions on politics, that's fine, but I don't know how you can be invested in crypto and be supportive of Gary Gensler. I think you literally have to have something wrong with your brain. I'm going to lose followers for that. I honestly don't care. I don't want people like that honestly following me anyway. It's a little bananas, right? I've gone from both sides. I've seen it from the left. And in fact, the last 2 elections, I voted left. And those were mistakes, I think. Coming to where I'm at now, I think I was a little bit brainwashed, to be honest. And it takes a lot of introspection to admit that. But these people do not have the best interests whatsoever. And you might be saying, oh, well, neither does. I just think Gary Gensler was the most blatant example of how corrupt and how, corrupt is basically the easiest way to say it. But Gary Gensler, out of the way, potentially the most bullish thing that has ever happened to crypto. We have so many pro-Bitcoin candidates that are on Trump's side, specifically like those people I mentioned, Vivek and Vance and RFK Jr., specifically these people who understand Bitcoin. And Bitcoin, obviously, is something that Trump has become a supporter of the last few months. I think people are going to be a little surprised at how much things are going to change in the favor of crypto. And it's just the beginning. We have months before the new president is sworn in, so it's not going to happen immediately. But it's honestly insane. We see Bitcoin surpassing Meta to become the world's 9th largest asset by market cap as well after this most recent pump. Well over $1 trillion in valuation. And that kind of leads me to this, where, as everyone's been talking about, this is the trajectory. Now, I think we're going to be heading on very, very, very swiftly. Very briefly, we actually broke all-time highs, which were initially set, these most recent ones, back in March of 2024. You can see at this very second, we're above those highs. We're at, actually if I switch to a daily chart, you can see this daily candle is the highest daily candle Bitcoin has ever had. If we go back, you can see this is the weekly chart. This is all the way back in 2021. Bitcoin is right, it's at the highest levels it's ever been. The altcoins are actually pumping massively. Multiple altcoins I see on the side of my screen are up 10+%, 20% even for some of these. Elon is going to be implementing the, Doge. It's like the government efficiency thing. You know what he did with Twitter, right? Some people might not agree, but man, I think so many people, it's honestly crazy. So many people have been brainwashed, and I was one of them, to think that everything Elon and everything the right did was just horrible. But it's actually kind of crazy how pretty much everything the left accuses the right of doing over the last year, the left has been doing. I don't think it was always that way. A couple years ago, maybe I was just brainwashed, but a couple years ago, I didn't think the left was like that crazy. But over the last 1 or 2 years, I've really opened my eyes up to how corrupt, really. I mean, I don't even want to make this a political thing, but honestly, it's hard not to. It's kind of crazy how brainwashed so many people are. And it's honestly kind of sad. I mean, it's kind of insane. Again, new higher high for Bitcoin. Our low was so far, as I pointed out, I memean, after Bitcoin has never gone, the day of the US elections, Bitcoin price has never gone lower than the price that it was on the day of elections. So basically, if that does that again, that means basically Bitcoin could never go below $67,000 again. That would be pretty crazy. We're literally in the midst of a blue sky breakout to levels that we've never seen. There's no historical resistance because we've never been there. We're above everything, every key moving average. Maybe looking at fibs are the only ways to really look at big potential resistance levels. Maybe we pull out something like this and we think, oh, okay, maybe we'll go to, maybe 80 will be a big pit stop, and then something like that, right? Maybe you could do that. But again, I honestly think that fundamentally this environment, the current setup for crypto in the US, which is very influential worldwide, is so bullish that it's kind of common sense. I don't know how there are still people out there that are so, I think they're just stuck in echo chambers and they're not really understanding. They're not really getting a full grasp on what's actually happening. Look at the stock market today. This is the daily chart for the SPX. Look how it opened. Looks pretty bullish to me. I think there are a lot of people out there that may be anti-Trump and anti-Republican presidency that are going to start shifting their tune a little bit and understanding, oh, wow, actually, this might actually be incredibly bullish for the price of, risk on assets for Bitcoin, for the stock market. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be sunshine and rainbows, right? No administration is perfect, but I think that very clearly there is one side that is going to be more beneficial to, again, what I make videos on? Crypto, on Bitcoin. There's one side that is clearly more beneficial towards crypto and Bitcoin. There's one side actively supporting it and wanting to foster growth in the US. And then there's one side that has been trying to destroy it for the last 4 years. And if you're watching these videos and if you have $1 invested in crypto, it genuinely blows my mind the mental gymnastics you have to do to try to say that the party that is trying to destroy crypto are the good guys. You've been lied to by the mainstream media, and I think that some people wake up, for me example, I woke up to it, and some people never will. And to those people I say, I feel bad because, again, so far, literally everything I've been saying also for the past 2 years in terms of Bitcoin price, in terms of all this stuff, so far it's been insanely accurate. Keep in mind, there are people for the past couple of years, for the past 2 years specifically, this is a weekly chart. The entire time when we bottomed back at the end of 2022, there were people saying this was going to happen at every one of these corners where things could like go south, right? There were people saying, bull trap, bull trap, bull trap, bull trap, bull trap. They were wrong the entire time. And the craziest thing to me is there are still people out there that still follow those people and listen to the advice of those people, when there are people like myself and honestly hundreds of other people, thousands of other people that have been saying, no, actually, we're in a bull market. So if you're smart, and this isn't even opinion, if you're smart, what you should probably do is listen to the people that have been accurate for the past 2 years and not the people calling for these bull traps over and over and been proven wrong and wrong and wrong over and over again. This is not like an ego thing. It has nothing to do with ego. It has very little to do with like gloating about saying, oh, I'm right and you're wrong. It's just like a common sense. It's like an IQ check, right? If you continuously follow people that show you that they're inaccurate about their predictions or the trend over and over and over again, but you continue to follow them, it's your fault for not learning, right? It's your fault for not changing your opinion. And I think one of the biggest signs of intelligence is being able to change your opinion when new information is presented. And refusing to change your opinion and being stubborn is only a sign of extremely low intelligence. With that being said, I'm very excited for the next few months, next few years. I think this is going to be extremely bullish and more bullish than I think most people expect. So get sent up to Femex below if you're not Bitcoin or altcoins. Without further ado, that's it for me.